Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Marvel Legends Spider Wave, or I guess it's SP//dr. It's a big robotic Spider-Man as the Build-A-Figure, and we've got some pretty cool brand new figures in this wave, including characters like Dr. Octopus, Elektra, and we've got Cloak and Dagger. Pretty cool stuff, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. Of course, they all come in that standard Marvel Legends window box packaging. We've all seen it before, so let's go ahead and get these guys out of the boxes, and we're gonna take a look at them one by one. And we will kick things off with Doc Ock. So, very cool, classic looking Doc Ock. He's wearing the green and yellow outfit. I love it. Very, very old school looking. Of course, he's nice and plump, exactly like classic Doc Ock should be. Even has that great little chili bowl cut. Right off the bat, you saw that I knocked out one of the tentacles. So let's start there. Let's talk about the tentacles. One thing about this guy here is that the tentacles are not made of a bendy material. I know all the Doc Ock figures that we've had in the past have pretty much always had the bendy wire inside so you can pose them around. These are pre-posed exactly like you see here, and they just plug into his back with these little pegs here. They are a little easy to knock out from time to time. They're a decent fit, but you saw how easy I just knocked that one out just by handling the figure. I kind of have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, I get it. The bendy stuff does get a little complicated sometimes, so this does hinder the articulation, essentially, because with the bendy stuff, you can really kind of pose them around and do whatever you want with them within reason. This is going to stay just like this, and I think one of the reasons I don't know how I feel about this is specifically because these two bottom tentacles are really kind of big. I mean, first of all, they come real far off his back, and then they come out pretty far as well. So if you're a person that just poses your figures up on your shelf, this is actually going to take up a lot of shelf space, and you'll have to kind of work figures around his tentacles because you can't really pose them or wrap them around him or anything like that. So it takes oh my gosh, I just knocked this one out now. It takes up a lot of space there. Plus the claws themselves, they're not articulated. So I don't know, I think there's going to be some mixed reactions to the Dr. Octopus tentacles, and a lot of you guys probably already even have this guy, so I'd be curious to see what you guys think of this in the comments below. Otherwise, let's talk about his articulation. Oh, I do want to mention, too, the eyes are actually sculpted and painted behind his glasses. That's a nice touch. The glasses are not removable, at least it doesn't seem that way, but it's nice that he's got that detail underneath his glasses. So the head there is on the ball joint, so it can kind of look mostly just left and right. It doesn't really move up and down too much. There's a hinge joint on the neck, but it's like, I don't know, it's like real stiff on mine. It's not really moving too much. We do have the ball joints at the shoulder, so the arms can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivels at the bicep. Nice double joint there at the elbow. Looks like, do we have the glove cut? Oh, it doesn't really look like it. So we do have the swivels at the wrist, and we also have the hinge joints there at the wrist. You can rotate the torso all the way around with a nice ball joint. Nothing in the waist, but it doesn't break up the sculpt there, so I do approve of that. We do have the hinge-like ball joints at the thigh, so let's go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivel at the thigh cut. I'm knocking tentacles off again. You got the double bend at the knees, you got the swivel at the boot cut, and then the ankles move forwards and backwards, and they do rock side to side. All in all, it is a really nice looking Doc Ock. The tentacles are kind of annoying, though to be fair, I guess the tentacles are always kind of annoying on Doc Ock figures. I don't know, I really think it's going to be kind of up to you how you feel about the way they were executed on this figure. So that's going to bring us to the House of M version of Spider-Man. You know me, I love Spider-Man, and I always love getting all the different spider costumes in the line. This one looks really nice. Now, all the details are basically painted on, so there's no sculpted webbing, no sculpts on the design. He's just got that skinnier body, which totally works great for Spider-Man. I love that. So you can see he's got that House of M design there in the costume, which is very, very cool. I will say all of the lines and everything look very clean on this guy. They're painted nicely, so even though it's all painted on, it does look really nice. One part where the detail's not painted is the eyes. The eyes are actually sculpted, so they're slightly sticking out a little bit on the mask, so that looks pretty nice. He does just come with one fist, closed fist on the right hand, and then he's got the whipping hand on the left, but since he's a Spider-Man figure, he does have some really nice articulation. So hinge joint at the neck, you can really look up and down with a nice range of motion, plus it's ball jointed. He does have those great kind of like, you can see the arms can go back really far, they can move forwards really far, plus they're ball jointed as well, so they can go up and down down and out and in and just all around there. You can swivel him at the bicep. It's a little loose on this guy. You got the double joints at the elbow. We do have the red pins, unfortunately, on the outside. That happens a lot because the pins are casting because we don't want paint scratching off of them. So since it's red on that side of his suit, they're unfortunately red on the inside too. So that, I don't know. I understand why it's that way, but sometimes that bugs me. Swivels at the wrist, hinge joints at the wrist. You got the ab crunch, you got the swivel at the waist. You know, hinge joints, the legs can only go out about that far, but they do go up and back pretty nice. Swivels there at the thighs. You got real great double joints there. Nothing in the boot cut, but then the ankles can move up and down. They're nice and tight, nice ratchet joints, and you can pivot side to side. And the only accessory that he comes with is a web, which is cool. Now, the way this works is there's actually like a little handle on the end of it. We've seen the web before, but this figure doesn't actually hold onto that handle. So really all you can do is like you can wrap it around his fist, or you could wrap it around the thwipping hand. It looks a little strange, but you know what? You can find some poses that actually work out with it, and it's pretty cool little accessory. But all in all, it's still a nice variant. I always like seeing different iconic costumes for Spider-Man, which is cool. Now, if only Hasbro would give us armored Spider-Man, I would be very happy. So next up, we've got the Scarlet Spider, but not the good Scarlet Spider. You know, the one with the cool blue hoodie. That's the best Spider-Man costume ever. Don't at me. It's the best. No, this is the Kane version of Scarlet Spider. Kane Parker. You know, Clone Saga stuff, that guy. But it's cool. I always like getting different variations of Spider-Man or the Spider suit. So this is this newer version of Scarlet Spider. It does have kind of that slimmer body there that we've seen with Spider-Man figures. You know, it's even got the nice extra arm articulation there where the arms can really go way back. They can also come way forward. So that's really nice. You should be able to get some decent posing out of that. He also does come with some interchangeable pieces. So you can see I've got him with the closed fists right now, but you can actually swap those hands out because he's got these crazy little spike deals coming out of his palms there. Ooh, that was a tight joint there. There we go. So we got one hand that's open, and you got another one that's still in the closed fist, but you got the cool little pikes going on there. And we even have an interchangeable head, so we can put the Kane Parker head on there. Look at that imperfect clone head. Ooh, creepy. It's all in all, it's a really nice figure. It's cool if you like this version of the Scarlet Spider. The paint deco's nice. It's bright and colorful, and he does have some really nice interchangeable accessories. So that's going to bring us to Daredevil. Now, we got a regular version of Daredevil not too long ago. Plus, we also had the yellow costume one, which was that Walgreens exclusive. And now, if you didn't have enough Daredevil, we got that black costume. The black with the red on there. The thing that I do really like about this one is his awesome little nightstick accessory with this great, like, the extended whip cord in between. This is awesome for posing. And now, it doesn't really move or anything. It's definitely stuck in that pose. But it is still a really cool accessory. And if you want to, look at this, it just pops right out of the little club handles just like that because it's just a peg. So you can have him with his regular little billy clubs or his nightsticks or whatever you want to call them. And he does have the holster on the side of his leg, so you can put those there as well. So that's really cool. I like that quite a bit. That's my favorite thing about this guy. So you can see he does have like the wrapped up hands, and while we've got like the closed fist there, we can also swap out because, you know, I had him with the gripping hand. So you can have him with two closed fists, or you can have him with two gripping hands, and they just pop right out of those pegs there. Otherwise, I think your articulation is going to be exactly what you expect. Also, he does have this kind of different version of the Daredevil logo on there with like the little blurs on the fronts of the D's. But otherwise, you know, you got great motion there in the head. You got the hinge joint in the neck. You got nice tight ball joints at the shoulders. Your arms can go forwards and backwards. You got the swivels at the bicep. Nice double joints at the elbows. Swivels at those wrists and hinge joints at the wrists on the interchangeable wrists there, which is nice. Got nice tight ratchet joint there on the torso. You can swivel the waist. You got the nice hinge ball joints at the thighs. Legs can go outwards, forwards, backwards. Swivel at the thigh. Double joint at the knee. This is like a little extra piece that you might have to adjust a little bit, but it just kind of fits over the thigh there. And then you can swivel the boot. Ankles move side to side. Really nice articulation. So all in all, it's a really nice Daredevil figure. It just really matters if you want one in a black costume this time. But here's a great figure to go right along with any Daredevil in your collection. We've got this new version of Elektra, and she looks rad. I love it. Really beautiful face sculpt. I love that. And the paint looks really good on this one. I do really like the hair as well. They got this great kind of windswept look to it. You can see how it's kind of blowing backwards there, as are the little bandana pieces on the back. They're made of a nice soft pliable plastic, but looks really nice. And all in all, the paint's good on this one. You can see the wraps are just kind of painted. There's no sculpted detail there. I wish those were sculpted instead of just painted, but they actually did a pretty good job with it. It actually looks really clean and looks really nice. One of the things I really love is the right hand there, the way they've got her holding the sai with her fingers kind of wrapped around the blades of the sai. I love that. In fact, I wish both hands were like that, because her left hand is just a standard gripping hand, which is actually a little loose on her included sai. I wish both hands were like this. That would have been awesome and perfect for posing. And then the lower skirt piece is also just kind of a loose piece. That's been pretty typical, you know, with any of the females that have belts or anything. They're always just kind of like sitting on the hips of the character. So you can see underneath that, her bodysuit's just kind of painted on there. And they painted it with like her hips kind of showing on the sides, how it should be. But you know, all in all, this is a really nice figure. And it's that smaller female body. If you've had this with any of your other recent female figures, you know what the articulation's like. It is very nice on there. And all in all, does make for a really nice Elektra figure. I like her quite a bit. Look, she balances really good too. So then we got Cloak and Dagger, and I'm bringing them in here together because, I mean, come on, they basically go together. They are a team. They work together. So we've got Dagger here, and she's got that same kind of thinner female body. She's got a really nice head sculpt. She's almost suffers from that. Sometimes the females look like their heads are a little too big. That could just be my eye, but she does have a little bit of that going on there, I feel like. The costume details are just painted, and basically she's like just a white body, so they actually painted on the flesh tone for like the little dagger type cutouts that are in her outfit there. So she's very, very simple and very basic because it's just that white suit that she wears. But, you know, it's supposed to be a nice, clean white suit. Now, she does have her hands kind of posed in like this open palm scenario, and then she's got the little dagger accessory where she's like throwing the daggers. This is cool because it just clips onto the wrist, although I feel like I don't know what the right way is to make it look like she's throwing her daggers. I don't know. I feel like this is one of those scenarios I'm just never very good at. But there you go. You can actually put that on her wrist there. Cloak is a really interesting figure because, you know, when we see him, basically that's what we just see is like his big billowy cloak in his hood that he's wearing there. So they did give him a body underneath that. And actually, look, I just kind of unsnapped the cloak there because it just kind of clips together just like that. But if you want to take a look at the body underneath there, it's interesting because they actually made it like this translucent plastic that they painted black. So you can see he's kind of got like this faded translucent look on his hands and his feet, and he is articulated like you would expect, but of course when you've got the robe on, his articulation is quite limited. And this is cool too because even the robe is translucent. You can kind of see through it, and they just painted the plastic on. Now here's the really interesting kind of feature they gave with this guy. They made it so that the cloak stands on its own. So if you want to pop the head off this, like basically this blank body, and you can just kind of rest the head on top of the cloak, that way he looks more like that floating cloak that we see a lot of times in the comics. And this allows you to do a cool little trick of posing your Dagger figure as if she's coming out of the cloak, which is a very common thing that happens. I thought that was a neat feature. It's interesting. It's a cool way to pose it on your shelf if you want it. It's worth noting that this is just kind of sitting on top, so it's easy to bump that off. Also, when we do put the body back on here, one of the things I also wanted to mention is that the feet do hang a bit low, so like the bottoms of his feet are totally showing on the cloak. So that does kind of ruin that aesthetic a little bit because he's a character who just has this gigantic cloak. It should be completely covering him. But I don't know, it's kind of fun, and it is neat to see these guys in the Marvel Legends style. And that's it. Once you get all of those figures, you can build this guy, which is this big robot that is known as Spider, or it's spelled SP///DR. I'll be honest, I'm not super familiar with this, but it's a very, very cool figure. You can see it stands at 8 inches tall, and it's just a really, really unique design. Very, very cool. I love the paint deco on this. It's very clean, very bright and vibrant. You got like this gunmetal silver mixed with this bright red and some yellows and blacks. The articulation, let me show you this. The head's on a ball joint, so it can roll all the way around there, kind of move up and down. You don't really have joints that allow the arms to go outwards much, but they do go up and down pretty good. You know, you can slightly move them in and out, but you can swivel at the bicep. You've got a nice standard single joint at the elbow. The wrist can swivel as well as hinge there. The torso is ball jointed up there at the top of the torso. We got ball joints there at the thighs. I just popped the leg off. It is a Build-A-Figure after all. So you can swivel the legs there. They can kind of go in and out, and I just keep popping that leg off there. There's no other articulation in the thigh, but you do have these double joints at the knees, and you know the legs are kind of bent back and then forward, and then you can just kind of move these feet. The feet are really unique. They don't open and close, but it's interesting because they do balance pretty well. I was really curious about that because of the way that they are, but you know, he stands just fine as long as you get him in the right stance. Just really makes for a very cool, very unique looking figure to add to your collection. So there you go, my friends. There is the SP//DR Spider wave of the Marvel Legends line. Really unique wave that's got some very cool characters, some guys we haven't seen in the series yet. Cloak and Dagger are a nice addition. I love the Elektra. She's definitely the standout for me in this particular wave. That Doc Ock is pretty cool too, as long as you're okay with the way the tentacles were handled. I got to give a very special thanks to the folks at Hasbro who provided these figures for the sake of this video review. These have been on store shelves for a while, so they should be out there if you want to hunt them down for yourself. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.